Everybody, welcome to the Pancho Crystal Skull Hour here on JJLNradio.info. It's good to be back here with everybody again. I was out in Florida for the last 2.5 weeks, and last week we did have a rebroadcast of the Rand Porter Show, and before that we were live from Florida, and we had a really nice interview with some really great folk down there. Had a really interesting time. We had a lot of excellent events with Pancho. We had ceremonies. We had a lot of people that wanted private visitations with Pancho, and it was very, very exciting. But it is really, really great to be back here again. And I'm joined today with Lee Papa. Lee is the founder of the Ganesha Center here in Las Vegas. She's also a vibrational intuitive healer. And we're very happy to have you here today with us. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
I'm really glad. And one of the most interesting things about, an interesting thing, I don't know if it's one of the most interesting things, but the interesting thing is you've not met Pancho.
No, I haven't. Although Pancho and yourself have been to Ganesha Center, I have not had the pleasure, so I'm very excited.
I'm very excited about that too. And we I kind of thought of something, kind of like bringing Pancho out on the air for the first time, just to get that, wow, this is the first time, the initial reaction. But we do have a very special guest. Before I bring Pancho out, we also have, and that is Ganesha.
Yes.
And would you tell us a little bit about Ganesha and who he represents, and why you call your center Ganesha Center?
Sure. Ganesha, or Ganesh, either way, there are actually several names for the Hindu deity for overcoming obstacles. Mm-hmm. And the name Ganesha Center came to me in a dream. Mm-hmm. And originally, when I started getting intuitive messages, I was told to open a center. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it was a couple of years ago, and I only opened it with 2 rooms. So I was a bit embarrassed to have 2 rooms be a center or call it a center. It seemed a bit overkill. So it took several months more as I expanded the business into more rooms. It was an executive suite situation. To be able to feel comfortable calling it a center. So I had a dream, and spiritual beings came to me and said it was time to move on with the new name and the new energy, mm-hmm. and gave me the name for the center. And I was a bit tired at the time and didn't really want to get up. I was urged to get up and write that down, and I'm a bit of a negotiator, so I was saying, I'm a bit tired, you have the power, you can help me remember it in the morning. So mm-hmm. I had a very lovely evening of sleep and woke up the next morning only remembering the Ga.
The Ga.
So it took several months after I asked everyone that was associated with the center that was intuitive or psychic, I had this dream about the center. It's the new name. Do you happen to know what that is? Mm-hmm. And no one could come up with what it was. And so I started asking, I'm ready now. I'm ready for the transformation of the new center, and I need the name again. And so I was given a message to go to Del Mar, California. Mm-hmm. And from there is where I got the name.
The name Ganesha.
Yes.
And what, did it just come to you also intuitively?
It was like a treasure hunt,
like
actually.
A treasure hunt.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a beautiful experience. It was 2 days. I had expressed to my husband, I've been given this message about the center that I need to go to Del Mar, California. And at the time, my elderly mother was living with us. We have a young child. He said, do you really need to go to California? Can't you go someplace closer, like Zion, to get this message? And I said, no, when they tell you to go to Del Mar, you go to Del Mar.
Correct.
And I went, and each step of the way was just a phenomenal experience of listening and awakening and being fed messages. And it led me to the Self-Realization Center in Encinitas. Uh-huh. When I walked those grounds, again, it was just, it's like a little bell rang in my head every time I got a little message. And there was a gentleman who was sweeping the grounds at the Self-Realization Center, and he just reminded me of a little angel. Like, was he really placed there? Was he real? And he said to me as I was walking away, excuse me, are you going to the gift shop? Mm-hmm. And at that point I said, well, I guess that I am, because I was very in tune to all of the messages that were given to me. And I went to this gift shop thinking that it would be a very small little room, and it was a spectacular, it looked like a museum. And I walked in the front door. I was the first one in, and tears came to my eyes. And
wow.
I just knew that there was something spectacular there for me. And I was guided to Ganesh or Ganesha many times in spending 2 hours at that gift shop.
Right.
Actually, this piece came from there, and whenever I would see a piece, it was just a confirmation that yes, that was
so that's
the
where
name.
that's where it resonated with
Yes.
you, the name. And did you immediately figure it out that the G was for Ganesha, or did it come a little bit later?
It took in stages. Actually, on the way home, I was driving in a lot of silence and contemplation, and realizing that all of these messages were just quite incredible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so then really wanted to go with the version of Ganesha with the A.
With the A.
More feminine, more fun to me. And there is a distinct personality about Ganesh and Ganesha.
Now,
very playful.
You said that Ganesh or Ganesha is the deity, Hindu deity of overcoming obstacles.
Right.
And so that's kind of perfect with what you do with a healing center or a self-realization center, because especially in the times that we're living in today, where we have so many obstacles, and your center just gives. Tell me a little bit more about the center. What you guys do there, classes.
Absolutely, and you're right on about that. And it was, it seemed almost too simple to have the namesake be something about overcoming obstacles in this time, because a lot of people would come to the center and say, wow, we're in a recession and things are really bad. And I would say, really? We're growing, and we are up to about 2,500 square feet and 11 rooms in 18 months. But there are several things about that. And I am the founder of the center, but I don't really consider it my center. It is the center that was given through me for the community. And I've had actually a practitioner come to me and say, this place is run like an ashram. And I've never had an experience with an ashram, although I know what that is. But it's true. It's based on volunteering. I have volunteered my time since the beginning, and in faith and moving forward that I get messages, and sometimes it's a little difficult to move forward in that faith, but knowing that I've been guided beautifully every step of the way. And when I thought, how am I ever going to be able to do this myself, I was told that everyone that I need would be right there.
Excellent. And it is very exciting having you here, because there's so much to talk about. And we still haven't brought Pancho out. We're going to do that in the next segment. But you've just been recently awakened.
Yes.
And started this work, this light work that you're doing. As a matter of fact, I think I heard you say that you didn't even know what a light worker was, really, until recently. And you had a very profound experience. You had a near-death experience. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that near-death experience has totally revolutionized and changed your life.
Like nothing else can.
Like nothing else can. And I'm looking forward. We're going to be hearing a little bit more about that. And would you give me a little bit more information about the Ganesha Center? Do you have a website?
Absolutely.
And an address that we could put out there?
It's Ganesha Center is www.ganesha, Ganesha, center, center.com. And it's at 3243 East Warm Springs Road. And that is in the Longford Plaza in between Pecos and Eastern.
Excellent, excellent. And I've actually been there. I've done a couple of events there, and it's an amazing, amazing sacred space.
Thank you.
And I'm very happy that you're here with me today.
Thank you.
So we're going to be cutting off into a little commercial break, but when we get back, we're going to talk more, and I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
And you are listening to JJLNradio.info, the Pancho Crystal Skull Hour.